Hey, hey. Okay, let's have a check-in. I am feeling a lot of this feminine reclamation, like big energy happening again. We've talked about this before, but it's like it keeps coming up with clients and in my personal life. And yeah, there's something here that is just so ripe and where it's like, okay, the feminine energy is, I've heard it said as the feminine is the heart, and like true embodied feminine energy is your heart is open and it's like expansive and loving and tender. I don't know, would you use other words? Feel free to jump in.
Nurturing, but I think there's so many qualities and so many different faces of the feminine, but
Yeah.
this quality of the heart that you're talking about, like, yeah.
And passion
Yeah.
and pleasure and
Yeah.
giving and
Mhm.
receiving. It's just, okay, yeah. It's like this big, beautiful and like magnetic and attractive and all of that. Okay. So a woman who's in a relationship where she doesn't feel safe to be open, to be in her feminine. Maybe her partner is very, very wounded. You know, they have their own wounding, and maybe they're very needy and insecure and can't soothe themselves and are always, you know, looking and needing to their partner to soothe them and make them feel okay. They don't like being alone.
They're looking for a mother, not a wife.
Looking for a mother, right? Which we've talked about. Totally. They're looking for a mother. And so they're needing all this mothering. And so that can really shut down the woman's innate feminine energy in this kind of dynamic in the partnership, because she doesn't want to be a mother. And so she has this guard up and she hardens and she's kind of brittle and standoffish and is closed off. Her heart is closed. And she's more in her masculine. She's more in her like controlling and doing and all of that in her head, not in her heart. And so that woman loses touch with her ability to be joyful and experience immense pleasure and to feel desire in her belly and like all of that. And so when what I'm noticing is there's something happening in those women where they've been disconnected from their feminine for so long. They're reaching, or they have reached, a breaking point, and they're now, like, little by little, they've been slowly reclaiming this feminine aspect, and it's reaching a pivot point where it's like, or I'm kind of thinking about a dam, right? The dam is coming down or like breaking open, and the feminine energy is just rushing in, and all she wants is to like feel fully alive and embodied and magnetic, and she wants to attract, and she wants to care for and experience her passion and her fullness in that really heart open, loving, tender way. And if that's happening unconsciously, well, it's like, I don't even, some might not even understand what's happening, but it's like they're seeking attention from other people outside of their relationship. They're maybe engaging in things that they wouldn't be doing, or they don't necessarily consciously want to be choosing. But it's like there's this pull to come back into wholeness, and there's almost, and I'm also seeing kind of like a rebellion, like they've been in their masculine for so long, and they've been so guarded and protected and in this controlling, closed off manner that they're like swinging to the other extreme
Hmm.
into this totally liberated rebellion
Mm-hmm.
of like, yeah, I'm gonna go get that. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna feel the fullness of who I am, who I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anybody else out there is like tuning into that energy or even a little bit of that energy, like something in them that is begging to shift, like something in them that is begging to be expressed.
Mm.
And maybe it's coming out in just small little ways. Maybe there's like this kind of ick factor with certain situations or people, like they're outgrowing certain things or certain relationships, and they're getting little tastes of feeling more fully alive, or more authentic to who they are. And that is just like once you get a little bit, it's so intoxicating.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just putting it out there, kind of reflecting what I'm thinking about or what's present for me, and curious if others are noticing that in themselves and experiencing that, and just to know you're not alone. There, it feels like there's just some big collective shift happening here.
There's a big transmutation, and I'm seeing it in so many different places and people. And yeah, if you're noticing an ick, irritation, zero tolerance, something new rising, you're not alone. And it's, I just keep hearing like feminine rising, feminine reclamation, like divine feminine rising. Like saw something about like matrilineal societies even, which it's like instead of like a patriarchal society and a matriarchal society, it's like it's not women at the top and in power, it's like it's a circle. And so I just feel this divine feminine power that is like zero tolerance now. It's probably been rising for a long time, but now it's at this like tipping point, like you said, like this dam, it's rushing through. It's like I keep feeling like it's like there's no turning back. There's no turning back. It's the way it's been done is over.
It's done.
Something new and amazing is arriving. And we're going to do a whole episode on this soon because it deserves it.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you at? You want to do check-in? You want to jump in?
Yeah. Well, that was a great check-in because that just names something that it's been a while, maybe like months of, just these kind of sensors, seeing it, feeling it. It's alive. But something I really has also been sitting with me that I want to check in with you about is this concept of in relationship that giving the thing to our partner that they most want, that's the hardest for us to give, is like the healing factor in both ourselves and our partner in the relationship. And I feel like I really need to talk through this with you because I need more like clarity, understanding, examples, like just real world application, because I've noticed myself being like, is this the thing that feels hardest to give? And like, am I meant to do this thing? Or, just this edge within myself where that thing that feels hardest to give, it also, like in my mind, I'm like, well, there's a reason for it. Like there's a reason why it feels hard to give, or like hard to show up in that way, or I don't want to, or whatever it is that's like kind of pushing up against. And so I just kind of want to, for myself, get more clarity, offer that to our listeners. And it feels like such an important piece. it is such an important piece. And so maybe you could start by describing it more, kind of breaking down the idea of it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so good because no one is immune to this, right? I have to remind myself of this all the time, this lesson, and look for it in my own relationship. So this is an imago concept. We choose, let's see. Okay, I'm going to dial it back because I think I've already talked about imago, but basically, nobody, how I like to put it is, nobody wants to see you more whole and fully alive than your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're speaking to is that very often what our partner needs the most from us is the hardest thing for us to give. It's usually the hardest thing for us to give because our wounding from childhood, the way that we adapted, our self-protection, says no to that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the
because
idea,
we got injured,
yes,
possibly in that thing or in that space.
exactly, because we learned it was not safe to do that or be that, because we would be wounded or rejected. So
do that or be that. Okay, so like a state or an action.
So often when our partner, so say your partner has a real need for physical affection. And maybe their wounding says they need a lot of it. Like that is how they feel safe and good and connected, is by having a lot of physical touch from you. So that's their wounding, which is not necessarily healthy. Okay. But if that is hard for you to meet, that need for physical touch, very often that's because of your wounding. You didn't receive a lot of physical touch in childhood, or somewhere you disconnected from the part of you that like loves and revels in touch. So it's a no. You're like, my partner is so needy. Stop touching me. I will not initiate sex with you. It's a no. So in essence, your partner is inviting you, and they probably most of the time have no idea they're inviting you. They're just focused on their own needs. But the invitation there is for you to fully step into that physical being, the part of you that really does like physical touch and can initiate and can enjoy physical closeness. The invitation is for you to reclaim that part of you by meeting the need of your partner.
So what if the partner who like wasn't comfortable with the physical touch, maybe there was something in the relationship where they were feeling maybe like emotionally invalidated. Like one partner needed physical touch, one partner needs emotional validation, something like that. And the one who needs emotional validation is like, I can't be physical with you. This seems like a very like typical like male and female thing, right?
Totally.
So like, I can't be physical with you until my emotional needs are met. And then the other physical touch partner is like, I need physical touch. Like that's how I feel loved and cared for. And so they're at this like standpoint. And maybe the one with like, you know, the need for emotional safety just feels like it's like a betrayal to themselves to then open up and be physical before their emotional needs are met. Would you say that this is an example of something that would feel hardest to give, but that actually could be really potentially healing in the relationship? Because it's almost like that word betrayal it's kind of an edge,
Mm-hmm.
because not only does it not feel safe, it could feel like self-betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or does it? Like,
Right.
should giving in that way not feel like self-betrayal? I think this is like something that I'm like working through a little bit in my understanding of it.
Right. Right. The wounding, the
Mhm.
self-protection in response to your childhood wounding might say, I'm betraying myself
Mm.
by doing that thing, by
Mhm.
allowing myself to open physically with
Mm.
you.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. And then same for the one who perhaps needs the physical touch, but their partner is asking for emotional connection first. They might
Mm-hmm.
feel like, I simply can't, like, I'm not regulated because I haven't had my physical touch, but their growth edge, and possibly quite scary and self-betrayal in that sense too, of like, I'm betraying my needs and stepping outside of myself to meet this other person. But ultimately, in this concept, each of them, it's not about not just about fulfilling the other one's needs. It's actually about reclaiming something deep for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it is about say emotional safety
Mhm.
and right, like you, this person we're talking about learned for very good reason that it wasn't safe to open up and be soft and nurturing and seek closeness in other people.
Mhm.
And so it often does in that case feel very unsafe and like a self-betrayal
Mhm.
to do the thing that feels so scary and foreign to you without um, having your needs met, having
Mm.
the things that you need in order to feel safe.
Mhm. And then what about when it gets to that point? Maybe there's the partner who's needing physical touch, but then has learned about this concept and really wants to take that growth edge to hold emotional space for their partner before thinking about their own needs. But then there's this like hope that by holding that emotional space or giving that emotional attunement, that then the other partner would reciprocate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like I feel so much of this like chicken or egg, like what
Uh-huh.
comes first, you know?
Uh-huh.
But so maybe we could go into that.
Yeah.
Like, would you say it takes one partner and it doesn't actually matter which one's the chicken, which one's the egg, which one comes first?
Mm-hmm.
Just one needs to go first.
One needs to go first, or it happens at the same time. Like we are going to schedule an hour, maybe that's a long time, 30 minutes of connecting emotionally,
Mm,
talking about our feelings, like unpacking our day, feeding this other person's need for safety and
mhm,
connection before we then move into physical connection so that you can feel that closeness and
mhm,
safety, the other person.
mhm. And maybe in even talking about it, if it is both people going into it, it's like taking turns. Which one can come first, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's always the emotional needs coming first, then the one with the physical need might not get that same satisfaction of like
Mm-hmm.
getting to
Right.
first, right? Like,
Yeah,
let's do the
totally.
damn thing and then we can talk after, you know?
Yeah, and I think it really depends on the severity of the trauma, like
Hmm.
whoever can access the most um, regulation, the most like self energy and consciousness to do the brave thing and do the stretching, like do the hard thing
Mm-hmm.
in order to be a source of safety for the other person who maybe like needs to experience that safety they need help experiencing that safety before they can stretch into the hard thing. You're helping that person. That first person is helping the whole dynamic, they're helping themselves to get what they ultimately want by making the other person feel safe, and they're allowing, they're being a source of safety for their partner. And it is this reciprocal thing. The more safe we feel and the more tended to we feel by our partner, the more we want to naturally reciprocate and open ourselves up more.
And this clearly isn't a one-time thing.
No.
Like, you don't give your partner the thing that's hardest to give once. It's like a constant practice.
Oh yeah, you're rewiring your brain. And also, so if I'm the person who I can recognize, maybe I'm going to put myself into that example that we're talking about, where my partner is all about the physical touch, and that's how he self-soothes, not self-soothing, but like that's how he regulates and feels most safe and connected, is through physical touch, or we'll just say through sex. And that's incredibly hard for me and vulnerable for me. I could say, okay, this is not about him. Like, this is not about what he needs. I'm doing this. I'm going to allow myself to fully step into this part of me that I've been disconnected from, so that I can reclaim it. I want to like really feel what this feels like and grow in this way. And I could do that. I could open myself up. I could start initiating. I could allow myself to like do whatever I need to do to clear my head and fully relax and allow myself to fully enjoy this aspect of relationship. But if my partner lacks any kind of consciousness around their neediness for this closeness, like they don't understand why that's the default and why they're looking to sex with me as their ultimate like regulation to feel okay. And so they're still bringing this needy energy.
Like it's never satisfied.
And never really about me or us,
Right.
like always about their need. Then, talk about ick factor. Like, I'm not ever really going to feel fully safe. I'm doing this work on my own, but as far as relationship, like we're not growing together in that space to create real intimacy, real connection and safety together.
So there's like a conscious factor needed from both parties for this to be successful.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that there's times where, maybe the stakes aren't as high or something, that it's like maybe through the giving of the thing, then it just kind of settles something. And then there's like a natural give and take that can happen from there. Like maybe one party just needs to initiate and start that practice. But as you're speaking to, there's these other kind of possibilities through like unconscious, unhealed patterns that, if there's the continued neediness and not really looking at the why behind the need and understanding oneself, then it could just like be like a breeding ground for more unhealthy stuff.
Yeah, or there's this gap between us, right? Here I am growing, I'm becoming more embodied and whole, and you're not. You're still stuck in childhood, basically. You're still stuck in your adaptation.
And this ick factor, because that ick factor can come in before giving, and it probably will. Because if it is coming from a wounding place, it's like, well, I don't want to go to that childhood wounding place with you, like in our marital relationship or in our adult relationship.
What
So
do you
it's
mean? Put that more
so
plainly.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So like if we're going with this example still of like the male partner wanting sex and physical touch, but it's kind of coming from this more like wounded, needy place that doesn't have to do with connecting with his wife or partner. It's more about just his physical needs and like regulation. And maybe the female partner is like recognizes that, but still wants to take the step to give him what he needs. She's gonna, and her, like take the step to be whole in the relationship. So all I'm saying is like that she might feel that ick factor. There's the thumb again in the image. She might feel that ick factor in the first place.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And she might, right, consciously say, okay, I'm going to step into healer role or the role of mother. Like, it's this re-imaging of your partner as a little child, as a wounded child. If you can do that and see his neediness as the wounding of a little boy with his mother or father or whoever the primary person was, that I really want him to heal, then maybe I can consciously and intentionally show up in this way repeatedly, knowing that the more I can do that, the more I do benefit. It's for my growth, but I also am helping to heal this wound for him.
Hopefully.
Right.
And so there's like some other pieces there that are necessary, that it's like, yeah, possibly just stepping into that will naturally rise this man up in this situation because he's got his needs, he's feeling more secure. But possibly it's just like a never ending thing because he's not becoming more conscious. And so he's just like needy.
And
then
not
there's
really
the new connection.
Yeah. And then there's the new standard of you showing up in this way. And like you set the intention of, okay, once a week, I'm going to go in and I'm going to seduce my husband and initiate sex. And right. And then, you do that for a few weeks. You feel really good about it. Hey, I am showing up in this way. I'm helping me. I'm helping him. I'm helping our relationship. And then a month later, he's like, hey, so, that's been really nice. But do you think we could have sex a little more? Like, is that it? We're just once a week? Is that what we're doing?
You dress up? Were you like, yeah.
Yeah, like bring more.
Right.
And you're right. If there's no consciousness around it,
Yeah,
it can be a never ending thing of like more. And right, where are you when I need to feel okay?
Right. Or if the other partner doesn't then take steps to meet your needs.
Oh, yeah. Then it is a mother-child dynamic, right?
Right.
Then she's not being filled.
Right. I would like to look at some other scenarios with this because this is
it.
a really common one. This is like, the sex and emotional needs of partners, like, just having different needs and kind of being at a standstill. But what are other like common patterns or maybe just unique patterns even that you've seen where this practice came in or was needed?
Oh, well, now I'm like, I thought you were going to go into sharing an example from your life. And now I'm like, oh, wait, now I have to dig in my brain for client examples.
Okay, well, like I'm trying to...
What's been your experience of like a growth, or maybe it's not even you, it could be like a friend or just,
Well, in our last example, I was thinking of a friend who committed to having sex every day for a month with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it was super life transforming for both of them. It
Wow.
was like super transformative for their whole relationship. And this woman that I know, like it was her just kind of being like, I know this is what he needs or what he's asking for, and I'm going to do it. But just as you've mentioned, it was incredibly fulfilling for her.
She didn't even know she needed that.
She didn't even know she needed that. Yeah, she didn't. She
The
didn't.
wisdom of your partner. He knew that's what you needed.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was like a lived example. That was pretty powerful to see and yeah, and see the results of. And I don't know, and I think during that time she did feel like her whatever she had been asking for was being met more as well. So that was just pretty cool. But I get curious about other examples. I'm trying to.
In
Has anything
your,
come to you?
for you, what has been, if you're comfortable sharing, what has been the hardest thing for you to give in partnership, or maybe has been a request that was like an edge for you?
For me, it's giving softness and warmth when I feel crossed.
Okay.
Like when I have felt, maybe my partner did something that was quite upsetting, I can then be like withholding and I can shut down emotionally and like in my nurturing and love. And so the request of me has been to continue to provide warmth and closeness, which I've been reflecting on like parenting, right? Being like a firm but loving parent.
Yeah, you do that
Yeah.
so well.
Right. And so then it's like, okay, how about being a firm but loving partner? Right?
Right.
Where, like in parenting, I think about maintaining connection to my kids, even when there's upset or, like something happened. It's like, I'm going to make sure they know that I love them. I'm still here. We're still connected, but, maybe something happened. There was a rupture. So it would make sense then that that would happen in adult relationships as well, or that my partner would want that from me, would be like, hey, I still want to know that we're connected, that you still love me, that, like maybe something happened, but you're not completely shutting off and turning away from me. And so that's been hard for me because it's like, it's very vulnerable. It's vulnerable to maintain softness because I can feel I've definitely been taken advantage of. So I've been in a position where I've continued to show softness or forgive or be caring and nurturing and loving. And I've not had like a reciprocal loving experience. And so it's like, no, I'm not going to do that again because then I've been really betrayed. But I think my healing and growing experience is learning that I can be strong and soft and loving and have like a reparative experience in that.
Yes. Right. So your wounding of softening and forgiving and staying open to connection after somebody has wounded you, that not really working out, them continuing to take advantage or disrespect or just not meet you. That wounding has taught you to keep that wall up when somebody wrongs you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that, like, I need a whole lot of proof that it's okay for the wall to come down. And so then that is then a source of tension. It's like, does the other person give proof for my wall to come down? That's what I would like.
Yeah.
Like consistent proof that it's okay for the wall to come down, which seems reasonable and healthy. But then possibly, in a healthy dynamic, in a healthy marriage, to be able to to be able to soften myself in less time or before I have maybe all this needed requirements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be ideal, but you need to feel safe
Mm-hmm.
for that to happen. There has to be some kind of repair that tells you
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to let my guard down. This is a
Mm-hmm.
safe person that I can trust.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you have it's an art to figure out what that is for you that creates the repair. What do I need my partner to show me, to tell me? Do we need to have a hug? Like, what is it
Mm-hmm.
to create the repair and the safety for moving forward?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And that takes also a softening to see the safety as well, because I think in that state too, so many things can then be picked up on as unsafe that might not be unsafe.
Yes.
Like, or there's just so many more just so many more like needs or requirements that possibly aren't necessary. Like,
Well,
yeah.
if it can be really hard to really take in and trust the proof.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It can take a lot to let that guard come back down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it can. So then letting the guard down, what if that's the hardest thing for me? And then maybe, okay, so we'll just do I'll give a real live example here, okay?
Give it, girl.
My husband has, he's got a challenge with time and commitments with time, saying that he'll show up at a certain time, do something at a certain time. Like he has ADHD actually. So say, giving his word, giving a commitment and not following through, then like irritates me and I feel let down. I feel not prioritized. I feel, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And so then I, he's like, oh, I promise I want to do it, and sometimes he can, and he really tries, really, really tries. Sometimes he can. And then there's the times it just doesn't happen, right? He's like in his process and his experience. And then my world is like, man, like I'm dumb. I believed you. All my stories about what it means, right? And so I can shut down. But for him, he can be like, especially having ADHD, he can be super dysregulated. And having my connection through these dysregulated times is really helpful. And having me pull away is more dysregulating. Right?
Yeah.
So I have a need for commitment, follow through, giving your word, feeling prioritized, feeling important. And he has a need for co-regulation, being able to mess up and still be cared for. They fit perfectly, don't
They
they?
fit
Yeah.
perfectly.
Okay, so first, what age? Where is this at? What what adaptation is this?
I don't know. There's a lot there. I don't think I can distill it to an age, but
yeah. Well, like, you know what I mean? Like the
developmental stages.
yeah. Where like people have like the separate adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for you, it almost sounds like I can't rely on others. So I have to be really hyper independent and keep my guard up. So when he lets you down, it just reinforces that I can't rely on you. I can only rely on me. And I need to protect myself from you. So the ADHD factor is an interesting element to be just aware of, right? What is somebody's capacity to show up in the way that I really need them to? You've mentioned this element of time. What are the other ways? I would be curious. What are the other ways he could really touch on this need of yours to feel, I forget what you said, to feel important,
Prioritized, thought about, attuned to.
Yeah. So what are some of the other ways he can do that are different from showing up on time or for a task?
I mean, just there's so many little ways, like, oh, I know what food you love, or I know what, like, I know what, food feels like a big one.
I love it.
I know
so important.
I know what food you love. I know what snacks you love. I know, what restaurants. I know you love a matcha in the morning. I know that, right? I know you love your like special drinks. I know, the things that I like, some kind of forethought about that, right?
So there's all these other ways he can make you feel prioritized, but this time piece feels really important. And I would be really curious about it. And this might be more of his work or work you could do together, but I would be really curious about how much is actually ADHD and how much is something else, like some maybe unconscious avoidance of certain tasks or some kind of self-sabotage. I don't know.
Yeah, I've actually don't want to like expose the whole thing, but like I've wondered at times if there's, as you said, that's avoidance of like almost not wanting to meet somebody's needs. It's not just me.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's some fear about meeting somebody's needs.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not something that I've actually really considered before. Like not wanting to meet somebody's needs for like a fear-based reason. Right? But something scary about that potentially. And would you say that plugs into avoidance?
Yeah. Yeah, and self-sabotage. Like it's not going to go well, whatever that is. It's not going to go well. I'm going to really try and I'm still going to fail or whatever.
So like don't try, so I don't. So I can be in control of the failure.
And again, he might be like, "No, what are you talking about? I'm not." So totally unconscious.
Yeah. Right. I would never.
Like I had one of my mentors said, if you're showing up late for a session, you're unconsciously avoiding that client. There's something that you are not looking forward to about that work. Unless, of course, it's something outside of your control. Like, like your appointment prior goes over or something like that. But yeah, there's this unconscious avoidance element that we always need to look at.
So I guess back to me here. would you say, because we can like dive into analyzing his part, but like clearly I have my own part in this and my own wounding and all of that. But like, what would be then the hardest thing for me to give
What do you mean?
in this situation? Like, if he wants connection and closeness and I'm let down.
Yeah. So your work is to recognize maybe, and again, it depends. Is there safety in the relationship? Is this actually a safe person? Even though,
Mhm,
yeah, he has this flaw, is he
mhm,
actually a safe person that I want to let my guard down with? And
mhm,
if so, then your work is to help yourself recognize in those moments that he's a safe person and
mhm,
he's not all those people before me or
mhm,
before who wounded me.
mhm,
And instead of shutting down, I'm going to move towards
mm,
tenderly. And I'm going to look him in the eyes and I'm going to say, I was really disappointed when you didn't show up the way
mhm,
that you said you were going to show up.
mhm,
And I know this is something you're really working on. And I know you love me.
mm. Yeah, that's my growth edge right there.
Oh,
Like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Not do that.
yes. Yes.
Preserve my dignity, and
Yes.
like,
Ooh, yeah. Right.
mhm,
So the shell comes off when you do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And sometimes doing it,
Mhm,
just doing it, even when you don't feel the energy of it and it's the last thing you want to do, allows the emotion to dissipate.
mhm,
It's just like giving appreciations when you're mad at your partner,
mhm,
which could be another piece of repair. So it's like intentionally doing some kind of practices in those moments of rupture that
mhm,
bring you back online, that bring
mhm,
your connection back online.
mhm,
So I'm so mad at my husband. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look him in the eyes and I'm going to give him 3 appreciations.
mhm,
Genuine. I'm going to think up 3 things either about him and or something he did for me earlier today or yesterday, and I'm going to appreciate each of those things and I'm going to tell him why they were so meaningful and how they made me feel.
mm,
And
mhm,
then suddenly I'm out of self-protection mode. I'm out of the survival part of the brain and I'm back into consciousness and I'm right here in this moment and I'm in safety.
mhm, mhm. And so by doing, and you say giving the appreciations, but also kind of communicating the struggle.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're not saying like don't disregard whatever is upsetting, but like adding in appreciations.
Yeah. That, mm, yeah. Again, case by case depends on like if you both could hold that, if he could
Mhm,
hold your expression of disappointment or acknowledgement of what you're feeling and take in the appreciation.
mhm,
And if that's really important for you, maybe that's really important in order for you to feel safe is to have that acknowledgement of this was really upsetting to me.
mm,
And I know you're safe. I know you didn't intend to hurt me. I know you're doing your best.
mhm,
We're
mhm,
okay. I know you'll try to do better next time.
mhm, mhm. And so I think also plugging in here that like it's important to recognize that even though I would step outside of myself, and it's not stepping outside of myself because it's actually giving something to myself. It's repatterning, it's yeah, reclaiming my growth and my wholeness. But at the same time, my need for him showing up doesn't go it's not like that goes away.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So like both things can be true. Like I can show up, but I can still have a need.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, it's I can see why it's so powerful because it's literally doing the thing that you have built yourself not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And for each person, that's going to be a different thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different thing. And it's so interesting communicating about my need and my upset, how it is so directly related to my wounding. And even I just reflected on like the food piece, like that's connected to my wounding in an interesting way too, like the attunement around like food and stuff, and just so fascinating how we really want to grow and become whole in our relationships, and our woundings never, like we want to have repair in relationship, we really do, and how that repair within ourself actually facilitates repair in the other person and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
How perfectly orchestrated.
Yeah. It's pretty insane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then that's the practice. So it's not one time.
No, not
It's
one
not
time.
10 times.
but it
Yeah.
but it will get easier with
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it will become the default.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, repeat, repeat, repeat. And something you can do, you and your partner, and this is for anybody, can do in those moments of rupture is to finish the sentence. And ideally, you're both, there's safety in the relationship and you can talk to each other about the rupture, and you can finish the sentence, what this feeling reminds me of from my childhood.
Mm.
And I recommend just starting that sentence before you even know what the answer is, because the answer will just pop up and you don't have to think so hard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And just trust the first thing that comes up, what it reminds me of. So then you start to understand the root of why this rupture is so painful. And that's where you build empathy between you. Then your partner, who's, maybe unconsciously kind of avoiding or like, what's the big deal? Just not doing the thing, understands how deeply this touches you, how deeply this wounds you each time he does that. And for some people, that's enough to start creating change, or at least really confronting the thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that part, because I think that there can be this, even how we started this conversation, this like female ick around like men not maybe men being in their wounding or not like showing up into like a full embodied presence of who they are. So I like this piece that you're bringing in too, of this compassionate lens for childhood wounding in adult relationship, and normalizing that, because everybody has it. Not like, oh, you have to grow up before you get into a relationship. Well, you do, and you're going to have stuff from your childhood come up regardless. And so the vulnerability of consciously bringing that in versus feeling shame about it,
Mm-hmm.
or thinking that there's something wrong within you or your partner, but that it is important that it's tended to and acknowledged. I mean, I know, I'm aware, as I just demonstrated, of that I'm aware of my wounding, that it's related to my childhood, and I can identify in my own mind, in my own being, because I've made those connections. So it's about like consciousness, connection, willingness to be vulnerable, willingness to have the strength to show up and see. And so all of those elements are really important, especially in this like ask that in this concept that you are amazing at talking about and sharing with your people.
Yeah, I think a lot of the ick factor, at least for me, comes up when there isn't that self check-in or self-awareness
or connection, putting the pieces together. Like it's just all like flooding and spilling everywhere. Versus like, hey, this is even just some pieces of connection. They're essential. We got to have them, people.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the wounding. We also need the consciousness about the wounding. Right.
Right. The ick is not that you have wounds and that there is a wounded inner child. No, that's not icky. The ick is that you can't tend to it. You can't acknowledge it. You can't verbalize it. You can't bring in adult you to just hold it.
Fuck yeah. Sorry. We'll have to put an E on that. But like, that's it. It's not about the wound. It's about not acknowledging it, not even wanting to, not trying to. Yeah, there you go. We got it. It's solved.
We got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's like, gosh, there's just this part of me that never received nurturance from my mother. And I'm just recognizing how big this is. And I think it would be so healing for me if you would just hold me. Okay.
I'm holding you, baby.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need that awareness.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Cage.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Me through that.